This is Matt Parsons at Beating BPI, at Mindful Mission, and at Student Life Coaching. I want to continue today talking about coincidences, synchronicity, and the power of your mind. Now, I think coincidences are such an amazing thing, and you've got to sort of think about your life and all of the things that sort of you do on a day-to-day basis, and is your life just one big coincidence? I kind of think back to actually how I was born, and I think about the miracle of childbirth. It's just like, it's insane. It is an absolute miracle. And I think about me becoming the person that I am today. So many things have had to happen for me to get to the point that I am right now. So my mum had her life, my dad had his life, and either of those two people could have gone on to do different things. You know, my dad could have taken a different job. My mum could have gone to the university that she wanted to do rather than go to the art college, and all these different things led them to meet. You know, they just so happened to live in the same town, and they just so happened to meet, and they got married, and then they had my sister, and then I came along. But there's so many things that happened for me to be standing where I am today, and that is just one massive, potentially coincidence, or just one massive miracle. And it's the same for everybody. So what I'm trying to say is that all of the things that you do, all of the decisions that you make, do have a big picture and an overall sort of, it changes the big picture of the overall grand scheme of the world. It might not seem like that, but all of the things that my parents have done, my sister have done, and all my things, my family, have shaped me to become who I am. And although that might not necessarily be changing the world, I think about the pupils that I teach, and I think about the things that I'm doing with Erb's palsy. That is having a positive influence on people, and the things that I do in my life are affecting other people. But I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of that crazy stuff that have happened before I was even born. So is that a coincidence that all of that had to happen for me to be where I am, for where you need to be where you are, and where you are, right now? It just sort of blows my mind, really, when you think about it. And it's not just my mum and my dad, it's my grandparents and their grandparents, and all of that other stuff that's happened decades ago, even hundreds of years ago, that led me to be me where I am right now. And what's amazing is I'm here, and all of the things that I do are affecting what my children will do, and what they're going to do is then going to affect what other people do. And that's such a cool thing, and that's such a powerful thing to wrap our heads around, that actually all the things that we do, all the way that we interact with people, is having an effect on the grand scheme of the world. So we really need to think about, well, am I being positive? Am I, those ripple effects, are they positive ripple effects, or are they negative ripple effects? So that's something that I was kind of thinking about over the last few days. And also I've been thinking about the power of my mind. And I feel as though I'm in a really good place, and I'm very, very blessed, and I'm grateful every single day of all the wonderful things that I have in my life. But I think we often mistake the power of the brain and the power of the mind. And I love this concept that when you think about animals, they run on intuition. We can kind of say that we're the most intelligent species on the planet, but we've lost this intuition and this navigational device that I think animals have. And you think about all these birds that fly 100 miles across the planet. They don't have a sat nav. They haven't mapped it out. But how does that happen? It's just like animal instinct. It just sort of happens, and they do what they do because they feel as though they need to do it, and they always end up in the right place. And I think sometimes us as humans, what we do is we overthink things. We use our brain too much. So I kind of thought of the word mind, and I broke it down into my intuitive navigational device. And I love that concept that we have this intuitive navigational device built into us, but unfortunately what happens is our brain thinks too much about it, and we end up not listening to our intuition. Now, a number of years ago, my life changed completely, and I ended up listening to my gut, listening to my intuition, listening to my mind, rather than my brain just constantly going, no, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this, it doesn't make sense. And I just went with how I felt, and that led me to some amazing places. It led me to an amazing job, led me to my wife. It led me out of negative equity and financial worries into somewhere where I'm actually, I'm all right at the minute. I'm not rich by any stretch of the imagination, but I've got a nice house, I've got my camper van, and I can go on holiday. So that's the really positive shift. And I think that if I carried on trying to listen to my brain and try and do things according to, well, it must be this way because it makes sense to do it this way, I honestly don't think I'd be as happy, because I wasn't listening to my instinct, and I wasn't listening to that that intuitive navigational device that I have, and that you have, and that we all have. And sometimes things don't make sense, and it's having that faith to follow that, and sort of move on from where you are now into some place a lot better. So it's just something to think about. Is your life just one massive coincidence? Are you listening to your brain rather than your instincts? That I believe that we should. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Comment below, sign up, and get in contact. And it'd be cool to have some discussions with some people. And hopefully I'll speak to you soon.